Down to business.
That's the nectar of the gods, baby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the #1 liquid-driven, liquid-lubricated, absolutely fantastic show on the interwebs. This is the Whiskey Music broadcast. I've already killed it. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Look, I started drinking early tonight, okay? And the reason being is because I am flipping nervous because I have got the biggest unicorn king of the land coming here being my co-host. And you know what? You know what's really cool about this guy? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what's cool about him. What's cool about him is he wears shirts that he can tell you exactly which episode and might even be able to tell you at what moment in the episode the man who is pictured on his shirt is doing an exact expression. I am talking about the Captain Unicorn himself. But before I bring him in, even though I'm watching him over here on the monitor, I can see everything that he is doing. I see him getting his drink ready, and he has now given me the best signal in the world. He gave me the #1, okay? The #1. But this is a family-friendly show, so I can't show you which #1 he gave me. But anyway, let me get back to the point. All right, first of all, I need to say and give a shout out to all of my subscribers. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on the show. I do know that I have my audio ombudsman out in the audience tonight, Blix. Blix was a little ill last week, so I didn't get the chance to take a look or get him to tell me whether or not my audio is good. So tonight I'm expecting that if something happens, he is going to be all over it. All right. Moving on. So the other day, actually today I was driving around and I noticed, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but today I was driving around and I started to notice that guess what? Spring is right around the corner, because what I saw was a bunch of cherry blossoms on the cherry trees up in this part of the world blooming. They're starting to bloom. So for those of you who do not like winter, you're on the tail end of it. I personally am sad about this time because I happen to like winter. I like fires. I like cold. I like snow. So I'm kind of sad, but I also want to give a big announcement here, or actually I should say, what is it called? Public service announcement, PSA. Do not forget to turn your clocks forward tonight. We lose an hour of sleep. We jump forward tonight because it is spring. We jump forward, we spring forward. And so make sure you turn your clocks back. For those of you that depend on your cell phones, don't worry, the damn things will do them all on their own. Now, get ready, because here he comes. Here he is. The one, the only, the myth, the legend, the commander of his own unicorn army, and the one who can tell you specifically what episode and probably even what time the picture of the actor that is on his shirt came from. This is the man, the one, the only, Kirk Unicorn. Oops, wrong one. Here we go. There we go. Hey, how you
Unicorn,
doing? Hey,
Captain Unicorn.
Captain Unicorn, Kirk Unicorn, whatever. I call you all kinds of unicorns, man. I mean,
so
you are the mythical beast. Okay, so there it is. There's the photo, folks. Check it out. All right, so what episode did that come from? I'm going to quiz you. Go for it.
Okay, well, let's give everyone a chance to chime in. Does anyone know? Probably not. I don't think anyone here is actually as big a tricky as I am.
Oh.
Hi, Blix. Okay,
So,
anyway.
which one? Come on.
Amok Time.
Amok Time?
It's one where Spock gets the 7-year itch. has to go back to Vulcan to mate.
Oh, that's okay. That's right. And then he and Kirk end up fighting, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And this specific picture is from the end of the show where he's talking with T'Pring? Can't remember.
Really? You're killing me here.
She says, "Live long and prosper." He says, "I shall do neither. I just killed my captain and my friend." So it's that exact scene.
Okay, it's that exact scene. All right. So since we are this is perfect though, because this is a great segue. It segues right into our topic for tonight. So for those of you that don't know, we are doing this episode as well. I mean, I sort of announced it as a game, but let's be honest here. This is more of a discussion than a game because there's no prizes. But what it is,
I'm out of here.
Yeah. But what it is it's basically love it or leave it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few technologies. Hopefully we got a list of them. I mean, Kirk and I collaborated outside of the program, and we've got a list, and the list is pretty extensive, I'll be honest. And if we happen to get through them all, that's great. If we don't, that's not a problem either. But first things first, this is a whiskey-driven, whiskey-lubricated program, at least on my end.
My end is rum.
Rum. He is got some rum. Hey, so to back things up, and I'm going to kind of throw a little curveball out here. This is episode 44. Back in episode 42, I talked about whiskey, and one of the things that our friend Captain Unicorn over here had mentioned was brown sugar bourbon. And I went out, and it was funny. He mentioned it. I never had it, and he mentioned it, and I went to the store to go get something unrelated, and I ended up coming home with a bottle of it. So I gave it a try. Now, apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Kirk, but there's two different types. There's the 103, and then there's the other one. What's the other one?
Normal is 60 or 70.
60 or 70. Is it six? Yeah. Is it the proof? Is it the proof that they use the number for?
Yeah.
Okay. So I brought home the 60 proof. So I brought home the 60.
An interesting note. When I went to go purchase some last time, I couldn't find the exact bottle I was after.
Right.
Because they've run out of that particular stock. Come to find out, Heritage Brewery or Distillery, the people that made the BSB sold the recipe, so now it's being made by somebody else, and it's just now getting out into the stores.
Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool. But anyway, I tried it. I tried the 60, and for those of you who have never had it before, I can tell you that it does have a little bit of a cinnamon flavor to it because they do put cinnamon in it. I did check the label, but it's not as drastic of a cinnamon flavor as like Fireball would be.
Oh yeah.
So it is sweet, but it has that cinnamon kick, but it's not as kicky as Fireball is. I could probably drink it again. I don't think it's going to be my go-to, but I would definitely drink it again. I mean, I have bottles around here that are not my go-to that I would probably drink again at some point. But anyway, so I think it was a good flavor. If you get a chance, get out there, support Kirk's desire to keep this thing going. And go out there, take a try and give it a shot. Anyway. Okay. So we are at the moment in time. So this is how this is going to work. So I'm going to name a technology, and Kirk, you've already got the list. I mean, we've got it. We went back and forth about it. So we have the list, but I'm going to name a technology. And the way this is going to work is you and I are going to kind of discuss the technology a little bit and then give our opinion on whether or not we would keep it or we would get rid of it. If keep in mind, I mean, the idea here was, at least in my mindset, was basically if something drastic were to happen in the world and we ended up without it, what technologies would we keep and what technologies would we get rid of? So with that in mind, we're going to start with the microwave. and in particular, the microwave oven.
As opposed to microwave transmitter.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay.
It's the exact same thing.
And that, well, not exactly. Okay, so keep in mind, I live in the telecommunications world. That's my day job. So when somebody says microwave transmitter, I'm thinking of like a point-to-point wireless link or something. I'm going to end up geeking out. So thank you.
How the microwave oven came to be by accident, because some guy stood in front of it cleaning up bird poop, and there was a chocolate bar in his pocket, and it melted. That's the story I've heard.
Okay.
You haven't heard the story?
No, that is amazing. Holy crap.
You sure are not a geek.
You know, he's an electrician by day and an encyclopedia of knowledge by night.
There is a buttload of useless information in this space.
Okay, well, let's see if we can tap into it a little bit. So microwave ovens, the traditional sense of a microwave. Keep it, love it, or kick it. Kick it to the curb.
Okay, we're talking end of the world stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to go,
have you ever seen the show Last Man on Earth?
No, I don't think so.
It was a couple seasons, didn't last very long.
Okay,
it's funny, but anyway, world ends. There's very few people around, and you can rig up some solar panels.
Okay,
have a limited amount of power. Okay,
right.
Let's go with that. I don't need a microwave.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not absolutely necessary.
Okay.
I can, chop up some wood, whatever, and make a fire and heat stuff that way. I don't need a microwave.
I agree with you. I personally, I don't think I would need it either, because of the fact that you can just heat if you need to reheat anything. I mean, keep in mind, the premise here is that it's the end of the world kind of scenario. So chances are you don't have refrigeration and you're not keeping any of this shit around anyway. Pardon me. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Family friendly show here.
Language.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. But that being said, as far as microwaves go, I mean, other than heating something up that's like a leftover after a while, I don't necessarily use one on a regular basis. And to be honest, in my line of work, under normal circumstances, they are part of the bane of my existence. And I'm going to throw out a little PSA right here. Okay, if you work in an office building and you have a Wi-Fi system, and for some stupid ass reason the Wi-Fi system goes down around lunchtime, I can almost guarantee you need to replace your microwaves, because the shielding on the damn things is gone. Okay. It fades away.
Why are you putting your microwave in the IT room? Oh my God.
Well, I mean, yeah, so for those of you that don't understand, I mean, microwaves operate in the 2.4 frequency space. Okay. Well, that's what 802.11G and B, sorry, techie talk.
Oh, yeah.
But 802.11 operates in the 2.4 gigahertz space. You turn one of those suckers on and it floods the airwaves with a whole bunch of noise and nothing can get through. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. I've dropped down the tech road.
My wireless headphones.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I'll have those in when I'm cooking.
Yep.
And someone comes in and pops something in the microwave, or I pop something in the microwave. If I am near the microwave, then my headphones cut out.
Well, that's because Bluetooth technology runs in 2.4.
Well, there you go.
So that's why they die out. I mean,
And one of my Wi-Fi settings, I have two channels on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
One is 2.4, the other is 5.
Yep.
Gigahertz.
Always use 5.
Some of the technology specifically requires 2.4.
Ugh.
Like I have Bluetooth or not RGB lights outside of my patio. Change color. It's
okay. And
I'm a geek. Shut up.
Hey, well, we still need to talk about that other project that we got going on. But anyway, sorry. Side note. Keep going.
No, that was it. Because when I set up the Bluetooth part of it for my phone to activate the lights, it says this will only work on your 2.4 wireless.
Yeah.
So I had to do all that. Actually, my son did.
Yeah. Well,
but whatever.
Okay, so keeping in mind from that idea. I mean, obviously, your microwave oven is going to cause a problem. So if you turn that thing on at the same time that you're trying to like change the color of your lights or turning the lights on and off, it's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
Just so you know. All right.
Okay, good enough.
Okay, so speaking of that, this is not next on the list, but it certainly is a great segue. Wi-Fi. Love it or get rid of it?
End of the world stuff. No, I don't need it. What am I doing? I need to go kill things to eat or search for supplies. So no, I don't need Wi-Fi.
Okay, what if it's not just, what if it's not end of the world necessarily? Maybe it's like, halfway there.
The only thing I use that's Wi-Fi is my phone, and has a cell signal. So I'm not using too much Wi-Fi. Maybe an iPad, but that's rare, really. So I can do without Wi-Fi.
Okay. Well, I don't know. First of all, that's what I work in. So no, I can't deal without Wi-Fi because if I would end up going.
I supply the things that you tinker with. So
yeah, there you go. Yep. Something like that. Okay. But that being said, if anybody has not noticed already, a lot of things, even computers, which used to come out with an Ethernet port or a port where you would plug your cable into to get a wired connection, all of that stuff is really going away. Even with laptops, they have issues where they don't have that anymore. And if you start to notice as computers get more and more advanced, they're starting to change over. Like any of computers that have a USB-C connection, a lot of them are no longer having a whole bunch of USB ports and that type of stuff because of the capabilities of USB-C. So, to be honest, Wi-Fi, I think I actually am going to kind of disagree with you here. I would have a little bit more of a difficulty. I mean, end of the world stuff, absolutely. I'm only caring about survival. Who gives a crap about Wi-Fi? But until I get all of the stuff that I need to survive, and then maybe I might need Wi-Fi in order to access all of this plethora of information that is out there. But beyond that, if it's just halfway there, I don't know. I think I'd want it. I think I'd still want it around.
I probably wouldn't know until it happens. If I'm suddenly without Wi-Fi, then hey, I need Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it's probably one thing I just don't really think about because there is broadcasting to your TV from your phone if you need to.
And that actually brings up a point that we haven't hit yet, but that's okay. I'll hold that one for a little bit later in the program. All right. So the next thing, we've already kind of hit on it. What about computers? Love them or get rid of them?
Oh, love them. I can't live my life without them.
Okay. So computers, you can't live your life without. Wi-Fi, right. You could probably deal with, but computers, you can't.
I have a wire going to my computer.
So for the audience that may not be as tech, I won't say tech savvy, but as tech oriented as what actually all of us probably are. We're all tech oriented, which is why I'm not going to say it. Don't get me on that soapbox. I'm done. All right, moving on. So the technical part of computers, a lot of people don't know this, but just about everything in today's day and age has some form of a computer in it. So if you had an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse, that can happen over a very large explosion of a certain type, let's say nuclear as an example, EMPs are a potential issue. And so everything has a computer in it. Your phone has it, your tablet has it, even your little Bluetooth headsets, they all have little tiny microcomputers in them. And so, computers by themselves have just been pervasive throughout our entire setup. I mean, even the lights that I have that I'm using to light up, all my screen and my beautiful friendly face, even all of that, they have a computer in them because they have a little LED dashboard that kind of tells me what's going on with the light. So, I think computers are going to be a hard sell. I think living without computers, especially in today's day and age, would be a hard sell. I think it would. If you think not, I dare you to go into any Walmart, McDonald's, any store where they've had a power outage, and you try to get them to ring up an item. It is impossible. In the old days, we had these things known as a credit card printer machine that basically you put the credit card in, you put this carbon paper on the top, and then you went clunk, clunk, okay? And you could pull that receipt. That receipt itself had the imprint of the card in it. They don't have those anymore. And I've been in stores where the power has gone out or the internet has gone down, and nobody knows what to do. They're all just standing there. They can't like write things down. And God forbid in today's day and age that somebody under the age of 35 tries to make change in their head is, I mean, to find somebody who is able to do that, you better grab onto them quick, because I guarantee they are like the unicorn, relatively non-existent. Okay. I'm just saying. All right. Okay, so we've talked about computers. We've talked about Wi-Fi. We've talked about the microwave. What about the phone? And to clarify, we're gonna kind of separate this into two parts. You have the normal phone, which is your landline, and you have your cellular phone, which you may or may not have a landline anymore, by the way. But one of those two objects, will start with the landline. Do you have a landline? And if you do, love it or leave it?
Yeah, well, okay. Technically, I have a landline that comes with my cable package,
Right.
but I don't use it.
Okay.
I don't even know the number because I have my cell phone on me all the time. Why do I need to give anyone my landline?
Okay. So you know what?
But I understand in a power outage, the phones still work because they run on 10 volts.
110. Oh, well, I mean, it depends. I think it's like 40. I think it's 42. I think it's 42 volts without the ring. And when it's ringing, it's 110 volts.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it's either 42 or 48. I don't remember, but they are battery operated. If you still have one, I can tell you, I don't. I cut the cord a long time ago. I don't even have cable TV. So the only thing that my cable service provider is giving me is internet, which allows me to invade your space right now. Anyway, but as far as like a home phone line, yeah, I don't have it. The cell phone is all that I have. If you can't reach me on the cell phone, too bad. So sad. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So the landline, I don't even have one. So yeah, we can do without it. Cell phone, no, can't do without it.
The funny thing about it is, and this is something that I've had converse or had like thrown at me. So my company I work for, they offer up a choice when you get hired on. Your choice is you can either have your phone where they pay part of it, or you can get their cell phone. And I jumped on that. I was like, oh, I'm taking your cell phone. And they looked at me and they're like, why? And I said, for one simple reason. I don't want customers, number one, knowing my private number. And number two, I don't want them calling me on my private number. If I have a separate cell phone with a separate number, I can leave that thing at home if I need to get away from my clients if I need to. If I have to, like I go on vacation or holiday or something like that. Holiday, what am I saying? Freaking in England or something. Anyway, so I can leave it. But my normal number I've had, believe it or not, I've had this number for as long as my son is alive, roughly 19, almost 20 years now. It's the same number, hasn't changed, not going to change. And I got to admit, I mean, it's for me to go and like have somebody have like one of my clients or whatever have that phone number. Yeah, that would be horrible. I mean, it's bad enough we get robocalls all the time and people trying to sell me some freaking what do you call it? Additional coverage on my warranty for my car or something from someplace in India or whatever.
Or your business is not listed on Google, whatever. Like, well, because I don't have a business, so yeah, screw you.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't stand that one.
Exactly. So and you know what? I'm going to throw this out. So Addie, talking trials and stuff, she is Addie's Army leader. She is the better half of Captain Unicorn here, but she throws out here that she has nightmares about losing her phone and having it lost, not being able to remember anyone's numbers on the phone. This is going to be an admission of guilt from me, but I know three phone numbers. I know mine, I know my wife's, and I know my mother's. I have absolutely no idea what my son's is. I don't know what my daughter's is. I would be completely lost. I wouldn't be able to call either one of those two individuals. I mean, I'd be able to call my mom and I'd be able to call my wife. That's it. Those are the only two numbers that I know. And I'm lucky if I even remember my own work phone number and my own cell phone number, because I don't call it. There you go.
Yeah, I can still remember the phone number my dad had at work.
Yeah.
I had to come home from school and call him to make sure he knew I was okay getting home.
Can you remember your childhood telephone numbers? Can you remember like all of them? We don't have to announce them on air, but
I'm thinking it's 645. I think, yeah, the rest of it.
Okay. I only know one out of the 3 or 4 that I had. 2, maybe. I don't know. I only know one of them. And the only reason I know that is because my parents hammered it into my head. But yeah, I mean, so, cell phones are a convenience. And I think in some cases with the whole contact-less thing, you have issues at times with like contacts and stuff. So you're right. You're right, Addie. I mean, I would be lost if I lost my phone because I wouldn't be able to know anybody else's number. But then again, to be completely honest, I only call about 5 people. So there you go. Okay. Anyway. All right. So that was phones. Landlines. We both don't have landlines. I don't think anybody really has a landline anymore. If they do, it's because they're not in cell phone range, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. So let me look at this list here. What else are we missing here?
Bones. Hi, Bones.
Bones. Bones. Bones.
I don't need bones. What are you talking about?
No. Hey, Bones. Bones. Are you a doctor by any chance? Can we call you Bones? I'm sorry. Oh, God, that was bad. I'm sorry. I am totally sorry. I just tossed that out there. I'm sorry. Give me somebody whip me now. All right. Anyway.
I will on Tuesday.
Sweet. Okay. That's a date. All right. Okay. So moving on. All right. How about cars? How about vehicles? Vehicular assembly.
From A to B. I got to run over all the zombies. Okay.
Zombies. Have you ever seen the movie Zombieland with oh God, what is his name? Woody Harrelson. Yeah, Woody Harrelson, and then a bunch of no names.
I haven't seen Zombieland 2 yet. And I want to see it. Come on, it's funny as hell.
2? Yeah. Well, okay. It would be. I'm gonna. Yeah, it will be interesting. It'll be interesting. All right. Okay, but we're getting derailed here. I need to get a train horn as one of my freaking. I need to get a train horn as one of my.
A counter somewhere.
Yeah, well, like, and the counter. That's right. How many times? Okay, but before I do that, how about this one?
What are you doing, you moron?
Okay, so all right. So we delayed. Okay, that's close enough. But anyway, cars. So cars, you have to get to A to B. I'm guessing that has to deal with a lot with your job, and also could be where you live as well. Right? I mean, do you have?
If I didn't have a job, I could get around on foot pretty easily. There's not, and I got Freddy's right down the road.
Okay, so there is some form of public transportation in the area.
There's buses nearby. So.
Okay.
I would enjoy it because you're at the mercy of their time schedule, and it takes an hour to go 5 miles.
So regarding that, first of all, I live far out, which is, and by far out, I mean, that's not my mental state. Okay. Even though that is up there in usual places. Yes. But I do live out away from the city a bit, and I like it that way. So I do personally need my car. That being said, though, I do have public transportation that does come down the street that I live on. So I could jump on it. But like you said,
what, once an hour?
Yeah, it does. And it takes, like an hour and a half. I mean, here a few years ago, a part broke on my truck. My truck wouldn't run. And so I had to go into town to go get the part. It took me 2 hours to get to the auto parts store, and then another 2 hours to get back. It was almost like a day trip just to get into town, get my part, come back out, and be able to put it on the vehicle. Huh?
Would a bicycle have been faster?
Yeah, if I'd have been able to survive the trip. I mean, come on. You haven't seen me in a while, but I'm going to tell you, does this face look like it's in shape? Does this body look like it can come? I mean,
looks in better shape than mine.
Oh.
You are.
Well, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, but that being said, yeah, I mean, I do have a bus that comes by. I mean, I could use public transportation if I needed to, but a car definitely is one of those things that. Okay, I got to throw this out. I'm sorry. I just looked down and this is a derailment, but Addie, sweetheart, there's more that you need a man for than just driving. Okay. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. All right. I mean, obviously you need him to cook because he, smokes and cooks and, well, not smokes like as in, I'm talking smoking meat.
The occasional Friday. So, yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway. All right. Moving on. Okay. So cars are definitely for you. It's a definite. I would actually have to keep a car around. Now, here's something that's kind of a little scary to think about, though, is that going back to that EMP thing. So I own newer cars. I won't say I own brand new cars, but at least 2010 and beyond. Okay. Those cars actually have computers in them. And if they're ever hit with an EMP, they will literally not run.
But it's not only if it's currently on or has power running through it that'll destroy it.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I would love to be able to build an EMP and test it just for fun. and I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a way to get on a watch list.
Okay, so if this video disappears from YouTube tomorrow, you'll know why. But
I haven't heard from Rick in a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, but there was a video that I was watching where somebody took a ballast from a fluorescent light and turned it into a EMP device. And supposedly, in the movies, they talk about how the EMP goes off and it just kills the device and then it can't come back. Well, in this video, the guy actually did it to a mobile phone, and he or whoever, I don't know, because they never showed the person's face, only the hands and arms. But anyway, this person created this thing, lit it off, killed the phone, and then 30 minutes later, it came back on and actually ran again. So I don't think it actually destroys the phone itself unless it's real close to it.
Okay. So here's a little side thing. Do you know what an EMP device actually is, and how does it do what it does?
So it's an electromagnetic pulse. Basically, if I recall correctly, it's like a very large electromagnet that...
I'm no expert on this. I have done some minor research on it because I'm just curious about it. But like I said, yeah, it's basically a large magnet, and magnets have flux lines. That's what the magnetic force is.
Right.
Everyone's seen this demonstration in science class where they have a bar magnet on a piece of paper and they sprinkle filings on it, right?
Right. Okay.
And the filings follow the flux lines.
Okay.
From what I understand, if I'm doing this correctly, an EMP creates a ton of flux lines, and then the explosion suddenly cuts them in half, essentially.
Okay.
And those flux lines suddenly having nowhere to go, like back from north to south or south to north, however it's actually going.
Right.
They just disperse out and somehow destroy anything electronic.
No. Okay.
From what I understand, I could be way off. I don't know, but I believe that's what I remember.
Well,
seeing.
you know, you're a lot farther down the road than I would be with that. I can tell you this. My vindictive side kicks in, especially when I'm driving, and I kind of hope and wish that I could build one for the front of my truck so that I could zap people who are in front of me and they're doing something stupid. And believe me, that is a very wide qualifier. But they're doing something stupid, but I would love to have one on my truck. I'm just too afraid that I would end up killing my own truck at the same time.
Well, okay. Derailment time here again.
Yep. Of course. This show would not be anything without
seen,
derailment.
And in some police shows where they have made small RC cars that have a little EMP on them.
Right.
They can drive it up underneath the bad guy, set it off, and kill their car.
I've seen and heard of that technology, and it's wire driven. It's not like it's not Wi-Fi driven. It's wired. It's almost like in the service where you have a torpedo and the torpedo is wire driven. The wire spools out as the torpedo goes away and they can turn the torpedo in the direction of the target. So yeah, I've seen it. I don't know how often it's used, or how many places actually have it, but I have seen it. But I don't think I want to go quite to that level. I'd rather do like what they did on one of my favorite shows, Leverage, where they put the EMP gun in the back of the vehicle and they just got in front of the other vehicle and then shot it off and killed the vehicle behind them. That, to me, that would be kind of cool. Now, granted, totally illegal. Okay.
Oh yeah, totally.
Completely illegal to not only own one, but to actually use it. But you know, again, anyway. Ooh. Oh, potato chip bags. Yeah, right, Blix. That's not going to help. It's just like the freaking tinfoil hats aren't going to help for people. Seriously? I mean, holy.
That is in reference to the last Terminator movie, where Sarah Connor kept her phone in a potato chip bag.
Actually, that's not the only movie. That's not the only movie. They do it in a lot of movies and a lot of shows. They throw it in there.
Like he said, if you're going to keep your cell phone in a potato chip bag, keep your cell phone in a potato chip bag. If you take it out, guess what? You can see it. Okay.
But well, it actually goes a little bit larger than that. And where are you going to take that energy and like drain? It's got to drain off somewhere. So it has to be grounded at some point, because the energy potential that builds up, and God, this is getting so much more technical than I really wanted to go here. But that energy has to build up. It's just like it's basically trying to do like a Faraday cage is what you're doing. Is you're trying to eliminate signals. And that's the other thing. Okay. For those of you who are tinfoil hats out there who are watching this video. All right. I'm just going to point this out to you.
Where's my foil?
Sunlight by itself is electromagnetic, it is electromagnetic. I mean, that's visible light is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already being pelted with it. Sorry, but the tinfoil hat ain't going to help. Anyway. All right. Moving on. I think. Unless somebody derails us again.
No, but the tinfoil helps against specific hertzes.
Well, only if you can actually drain it off. I mean, if you're carrying around a ground wire and you've got a good ground, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no different than.
But now you've foiled. You foiled the plans of the Illuminati.
Well,
okay, by telling everyone to have a ground wire hit the ground.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I've had customers. Okay, because again, in my day job, I deal with RF. All right. So I've had customers who have come to me and they're like, "Oh, the AP is right above my desk." And you know, it's like the radiation coming off that AP. I can feel it in my head. Okay, I can feel it. It hurts me. Okay, fine. So then these people go out and I'm kind of making fun of them, but at the same time I'm being serious. They go out and they buy this clothing, okay, or they buy this fabric that is supposed to prevent this
Don't
sickness.
even get me on magnet braces and that kind of crap.
And the part that they miss is the fact that, again, that energy, even though it, first of all, creating that, if you've ever created any kind of a television antenna out of just a piece of wire, or even a radio antenna out of a piece of wire, what happens is the energy that's in the air is exciting the electrons on that antenna, and it's basically collaborating at the receiver. So what you're doing by putting on this clothing that's got all this wire mesh in there is you're actually not preventing that stuff from going there. You're increasing the amount of energy potential that's actually on your clothes. So the only way to get rid of this is to put a ground wire on your clothing. And I mean, think about static electricity. Okay. In a cold day, static electricity, you can rub a balloon on your head. Where do you think that potential comes from? It comes from the air around you. It comes from the movement of your body and everything. It's no different. It's pretty much the same. But anyway, wow. Same thing with like
deep rabbit hole.
Same thing with like a paint. Paint's the same way. You can't do it. You can throw metal flecks in there, but if you don't ground it in some fashion, you're not going to have the way to drain off the energy to actually prevent the signal from coming through. Now, it might come through. I mean, it may come through totally garbled to the point where the device can't use it. That happens all the time. Chicken wire, lath and plaster, we get that crap all the time. But to get rid of the energy, you actually have to drain it somewhere. You've got to misdirect it. You've got to send it someplace else. Anyway, okay, enough on that. Moving on. All right. Well, shit, since we're at it, might as well. What about radio? What about radio? Love it or leave it?
Well, I like radio.
Okay. But could you live without it? I mean, if you didn't have it, could you live without it?
Yeah, because I got things on my phone I listen to. So.
But that's different. That's streaming. That's streaming audio. I'm talking about terrestrial radio.
I can live without it.
Okay. Terrestrial TV.
I can live without it.
Okay.
I watch very little actual TV.
You watch very little actual TV. Okay. Terrestrial radio, I could probably do it, because even in my car, I can go for long periods without having sound. I can turn off the radio in the car. That's about the only place that I ever actually listen to terrestrial radio. The rest of the time, it's all streaming and everything else.
Sorry, I just got a song in my head.
Oh God, here we go. Go for it.
I can't remember. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a country song from back in the late 70s, early 80s.
You sure it's country?
The windshield wiper, slapping out of temp. That song.
Oh, keeping perfect rhythm with the song on the radio.
The sound of your own wheels drive you crazy.
Yeah, so that's
I went there with that.
That is Eddie Money. That's Eddie Money is the guy, and I'm trying to think of the title.
Drive My Life Away.
Yeah, but I think so. Ooh, driving my life away, looking for a sunny day.
See?
Oh, it's Eddie Rabbit. Eddie Rabbit. Sorry, not Eddie Money. Eddie Rabbit. Thanks, Blix, for the save. See, I'm telling you, this guy, I love this guy. Never met him before, but I love this guy. He is awesome. All right. So Eddie Rabbit, not Eddie Money, Eddie Rabbit. See, now when you started talking about the song, I was actually thinking, I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican.
Okay.
Oh,
because you're talking about no radio whatsoever. So the sound of your own wheels driving you crazy was where I went.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Okay.
The random stuff.
Now, okay, so we've kind of danced around it. We've danced around it. So we've talked about TV. We've talked about radio. For me, in terrestrial radio, terrestrial TV, I could probably do without both because actually I have done without both. Internet. What about the internet?
I mean, like how we're talking right now? Kind of important to some degree.
Case in point.
Yeah.
Okay, so from now on, everybody's got to send $10 to Al Gore to thank him for creating the internet, okay?
Isn't that an urban legend?
It is, actually. Well, technically, okay, so here we go. Sidebar. Technically, it is an urban legend, but he was actually part of Congress, I think, at the time that the ARPANET was developed. And so therefore he signed the bill that gave them the money to do the research to create ARPANET, which was the beginnings of the internet. So technically he did create it.
He allowed someone else to create the internet. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it goes even beyond that. It's like not even ARPANET. It's actually AlohaNet was the very first one. It was originally designed by the University of Hawaii to go from island to island, is to communicate from island to island, and that's where it came from.
Okay.
And it was all part of course, DARPA, which is the defense something research. God, you'd have to look it up. But anyway, they were the ones that originally funded it because they thought it was going to be crucial when it came to battlefield environments and things like that to create this network. And then, of course, we turned it into what it is today. And now you've got any one of 100,000 million, thousand zillion people, going around and doing all kinds of nasty stuff. And for those of you that don't understand, Google is just the tip of the iceberg, people. Google is up here. There is a whole iceberg underneath that water that is just nasty. And that's where things like somebody talks about the dark net. Okay, the dark net is real. I can show you. I'm not going to, but I can show you. But the dark net is real and it exists under the surface. We only see the very top portion of the internet. There is a whole seedy underside to the internet that is totally dead, totally nasty.
I don't want to go anywhere near that.
So if you have any, and this, I'm not advertising for this person, but if you have any interest or any kind of thought process into listening and being totally scared over what people can do on the internet, listen to a podcast called Darknet Diaries. This guy, his name's Jack Resider. He goes through and he's a security researcher, but he goes through and he researches a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, the whole thing about the Iran centrifuges back about 10 years ago or so, where they went offline, in their uranium enrichment process. Yeah, that came from somewhere on the darknet, and he does a whole episode on that. It is fascinating. Comes out approximately once a week. Not gonna say this is not a paid promotion. I'm just throwing it out there. It's absolutely fascinating if you get a chance to listen to it, and it's scary too. Makes you really, really think a lot about it. Okay. All right. So the internet, definitely you would keep it. I know I would keep it because I unfortunately am finding that I have leakage in my brain. And so I sometimes remember crap and sometimes don't. And it just kind of leaks out. And, people,
fix that.
Well, people think I'm smart, but in all actuality, I just happen to have my Google foo is strong with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Cause if I don't know how to do something, I will, go to YouTube.
YouTube is definitely a positive for sure. Okay, so part of the internet also has things like electronic mail. Could you live without electronic mail?
Yeah. I rarely use it.
You rarely use it. Okay.
I mean, occasionally, because I have my own email at work.
Yeah.
Even that's rarely used. So.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I can do that.
So let me ask you this then: if you didn't have email, could you default back to writing letters?
Yes, because I know how to address an envelope.
Okay.
I know how to affix a stamp.
How is your handwriting, sir?
As good as a doctor's. No, my handwriting is atrocious. Because we have to fill out our timesheets and write down what we did.
Right.
I get calls almost weekly.
So you
what
guys
did you do on Tuesday?
Oh, wait a minute. You guys haven't gone over to any kind of like automated system
No.
or
There
electronic, I
was
should
talk
say?
of everyone getting tablets, but nothing ever came of that.
Ah, okay. Well, I actually, at one point, because I still turn in a timesheet, even though I'm not technically a timesheet person. I have to assign my hours to certain jobs. Okay. That being said, it's all done in Excel. So, which drives me nuts. So I found an app that allows me to enter my time in the app. And then I created a link to allow my person who enters my time to grab from that link. They just go and they click on the link and it opens up a web page that has my week on it and tells them exactly, the job number and all of that stuff. So I use the internet to my advantage because, believe me, you do not want to see my handwriting. My signature is somewhat legible. Anything else you can forget. Okay? I'm an engineer. I type. I don't write. In fact, I tried to keep a journal at one point. I got a journal that's up here in the corner. I tried to keep a journal at one point. I can't even read what I wrote 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, back in high school, I had a teacher call me King because that's what my signature looked like when I put my name on my paper.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have been like, yes. No, it's Your Honor. Okay.
Your Majesty.
Yes, Your Majesty. There you go. Okay. All right. So you're in this field. What about electricity? Live it, like it, love it, leave it. What?
Yeah, it's kind of my bread and butter. Yeah. You can't. If we're gonna have everything else that we've had previously, you kind of have to have electricity. It's kind of one of those basic things.
It's amazing to me how many people don't realize what electricity touches everything.
Yeah.
It literally does.
But if it touches you, that's an issue.
Not if it's less than 120 volts. It's not. I mean, it'll hurt.
No,
but
I've been hit with 110. Have you ever had a tendon in your wrist snap?
No.
No, you're working on screwdrivers and something just goes. Okay, because I work on live that.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, really. No,
Okay.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
All right.
But because that's all it feels like is just a tendon snapping. It's not that severe
Right.
of the feeling. I've also been hit by 277,
Right.
which is commercial lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That you notice. That is a kind of moment.
Okay.
Okay, I've had guys that were up in T-bar ceiling hooking up lights.
Yep.
And they get hit by a live wire, and they said they had to drop themselves off of the ladder to get unhooked.
Right.
But
well, wait a minute. I thought you guys used fiberglass ladders just for that purpose because it doesn't conduct
I
electricity.
think he was touching the grid at the time. Because the grid is suspended by building steel, which is connected to earth ground.
Yep.
Okay. You want to go to class, people?
Yeah.
I can teach you all about electricity.
Here we go. Hey, we just, you gave me my moment in the sunlight. Now I'm giving you yours.
Okay. What's the difference between neutral and ground?
There is a difference. I do know that much. There is a difference.
You know
but
theory?
do I know what?
Transformer theory.
You mean outside of like turning Bumblebee from a Camaro into a robot?
Yes, outside of that, you uber geek.
No, I don't. Go for it. You know what?
Okay.
You just look like a Viking. I'm sorry. I'm going to derail you. You just look like a Viking. We need to get you a Viking hat. With the big old mug that you just put up to your lips and everything. You look like a Viking. I mean, oh my gosh. Like
Oh, Jesus.
we got to get you.
I need to get a horn.
Yes, I was just thinking that. Just thinking that, a big old horn mug.
Honey, buy me a horn sign.
Big old horn mug. Okay. All right. Sorry, I derailed you. All right, go back. We're talking about Transformer theory and not the Autobot kind. Anyway.
Because when you put in a transformer, you have to have a ground, but in the middle of a building, there's no ground other than building steel. So the center tap of your transformer is to building steel. That is your reference back to ground. So your 110 and your neutral, that's a complete circuit.
Okay, so
to get your center tap for your neutral is also your ground.
Okay, so I'm going to ask because I'm thinking this is a scary thought process considering how much. Okay, but the neutral, so to take it back to very basics, okay, you have your two lines. Alternating current literally is back and forth, changing directions.
It cycles direction 60 times a second or 60 hertz.
Right. So does the neutral play the part in that, or is it just over the hot that it does that?
The neutral is your reference back to ground. It sends the overload, the unused portion of electricity back to the earth.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So it has nothing to do with the frequency.
Okay. That's
the power generation part.
Okay. Because I know, like in residential, for an example, some older houses they'll have the neutral and they'll have the ground, but they're actually tied to the same spot in the box.
Yes. Yeah. At mine's right here. At the very first box, your neutral and ground are connected. On any sub panels, they're separated.
Okay,
so you have a neutral bar and a ground bar.
Okay, so
this has nothing to do with the topic we're on tonight. Oh my God.
For those of you listening, we're going to start on the Whiskey Musings broadcast channel, the YouTube channel. We are going to start electricity theory with Kirk. Okay.
Oh Lord. No, I actually did a stint. I did a 1 year of teaching.
Yeah.
I am not a classroom teacher. I am an in-field teacher.
Okay.
I'm hands-on. I can show you how to do it. I can explain why. I cannot adequately teach book theory.
No, well, that's okay. I could probably fill in for you there, but I am. You know what? We've ran this for about an hour. It's not saying that I need to get off or do anything really weird, but I do
Phrasing.
Want, huh?
Phrasing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. So, anyway, all right. So I do want to open this up. I actually do want to open this up. I want to open this up to, and I got to find my phone number here. Okay, there it is. There's the switch. Okay. So I do want to open up the phone line because it's actually been sitting here for an hour, totally open. So if there's anybody that wants to call in and talk about this with, the master unicorn and the not so good looking host, we can go from there. Okay.
Well, if you bring back the long Dr. Strange hair, I mean, come on, that was awesome.
Believe it or not, I'm actually looking about doing that, but don't tell my wife.
You're on camera, right? This is being recorded.
Yes, it is being recorded, and she's probably listening to me too. I'm sure she can.
She doesn't like the crap.
But anyway, so while we're waiting for somebody to, get over the fear of calling in and being dazzled by your brilliance here, let's go on to another. Okay, so what about the TV dinner and and I'm going to kind of clarify that in terms of the idea of instant food.
I can do without it. I mean, I am a fairly decent cook myself.
Okay.
So I can make my own bread. Actually, when this pandemic first started, and everyone was panic buying, that forced me to panic buy.
Right.
I still got half of it. I bought like a 25-pound bag of flour. Okay, I'm still going through that damn thing. I couldn't find the little jars of instant yeast. I had to buy a brick of yeast.
You know, you may want to search the internet. There's a way where you can create your own yeast. You can foster.
Sourdough. I've tried that route.
Okay.
It did not go well.
Okay.
I can create. When I was trying to make sourdough, I'm looking for a specific flavor. This is a whole other show.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a total other show.
My brother makes great sourdough from Alaska. The yeast up there is fantastic, and he actually sends me some. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Instant dinners. There we go.
Yeah, the TV dinner. Mm-hmm.
I can do without them. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna throw a little history on you. So, before the TV dinner was created and the idea of sitting in front of the TV, we actually had in this country sit-down dinners. We actually had times where you would sit down and you would the family would gather and you'd all sit down and everything else. But then the invention of the TV dinner changed the dynamic of the family. And it created a spot where you now, rather than focusing on each other and talking to each other, you actually are now focused on something other than that. The other device that has done just such an effective job on that too is this little thing right here, the phone. Okay. I don't know how many times I've seen people who are sitting together, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, son, father, daughter, mother, whatever. They're sitting there and they're on their phones. They're not talking to one another.
Yeah. We're all guilty of that. We've gone out to a restaurant before this crap.
Yep.
And invariably, everyone's on their phone going, I work on putting my phone down and not being on it. But when everybody else is on it, it's like, well, what the hell am I going to do?
Well, exactly. So you jump in and you get in on that. Now, that being said, the whole idea of instant dinners, you brought up the point that I was going to make, which was you could see, just from a generic standpoint, you could see the number of people that have lost the art of actually creating things from the raw ingredients, because everybody was buying, boxed macaroni and cheese, canned soup, boxed stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that. But at the beginning of the pandemic, but you could see also the places where there was, vegetables were available, bread was available, meat was available for the most part. All the raw ingredients were sort of left alone. So I personally think there's actually an advantage in being able to cook and work with the raw materials than it is in a desperate situation than it is to be dependent upon some of those things like the boxed materials. Now, I even go a farther step than that, because at least in my current household, if we lose electricity, we lose our stove. And so if we are out of electricity for a while, I'll actually cook on the wood stove. I do have, outdoor stuff. But normally whenever we lose electricity, it's really, really cold outside and I don't want to fight that trying to cook something. So I'll actually cook on our wood stove, which is where we get a lot of our heat from.
Yeah. Fortunately, this house has a wood stove. I could do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it a pellet or a regular? Just
regular.
Curious. Regular. Okay. So it's regular wood. Perfect.
Well, I also have a propane and charcoal grill I can cook outside of.
Yeah. You got that whole Traeger thing going on.
Well, that takes electricity, which I have a generator. We had a windstorm. Knocked out power. Figured, okay, now's a good time as any. Go buy one.
Right.
So I went and bought the biggest one I could, because bigger's better. Right.
That's what I've heard.
Now about 8,000 watt. Haven't used it because by the time I got home, the power is back on. And they said when I bought it, okay, during a blackout, there are no returns on generators.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Because I want one for, maybe a super ridiculous Christmas display. Just saying.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. Okay. All right. So we haven't had any callers yet. That's fine. That's cool. I'm okay with that. Let's go back to our list here real quick. All right. So we have some kitchen appliances on this list and kitchen and other appliances. So I'm just going to kind of lump all of these together. So just bear with me here for a second. So we have like the air fryer, the convection oven, Keurig espresso machines. And what about like washing machines, dishwashers, garbage disposals, anything like that? How about any of that stuff? What do you think about that?
I can do without a Keurig because we do cold brew.
Okay.
So you just that and some hot water, boom, coffee. It's just it's coffee concentrate.
Right.
What it is.
Right.
So that's super simple. You don't got to buy those stupid little because the Keurig machine broke.
Uh-huh.
And I get tired of replacing it.
Right.
And the new ones nowadays have that security on it to where you can only use Keurig pods.
Right.
But there's a way around that. You just put an old label on top of the other one, bypass it. There's a cheat. But
okay, so just to make sure that we're not going to do any copyright issues here, ladies and gentlemen, we do not, in any circumstances, the Whiskey Musings broadcast team does not, in any shape or form, advocate trying to bypass a Keurig coffee maker. Okay, wink, wink.
Yes. What's the
Right.
the opinions and views expressed on this program do not represent all parties involved.
Dude, I need to get you to write that or read that. Yeah. I need to get you. I do.
Yeah,
we need to do that audio. I need to get that on an audio mic. The views and the expression. Anyway. All right.
You've heard that on talk shows.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, that's what this is. This is technically a talk show.
So I can do without crock pots. I like crock pots. I use them a lot, especially in the wintertime.
Right.
Oh, I'll make a chili, a beef stew. Oh, there's to die for. If I do say so myself. And my wife says so. So,
Well, you're not dead yet, so.
But if I were, everyone here is starving. Okay, just saying. Unless I freeze a bunch of food for the next 50 years.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pull this out. Maybe he'll watch this. Maybe he won't. But my son told me, he's like, "Hey, look, Dad, I don't have to worry about starving." And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "I can cook a steak and I can cook a piece of tuna, and I can do." He was listing off like, I don't know, 5 or 6 items that he can actually do as a cook. So you're right. I don't have to worry about you starving. You are absolutely correct. As long as you can buy those things, you are absolutely correct.
Okay, my problem is
Anyway.
Okay, end of the world scenario. I'm not a hunter. I'm going to require someone else to go out, kill the thing, remove all the icky guts. It's not my thing. But after that part, I'm all in.
I mean, okay, so let me ask you. All right, you brought that up. We're going to go ahead and go down this path as far as it'll go. So are you able to butcher the meat afterward?
Yeah.
Okay, because see, that's where I downfall. I can do the rest. I can take the animal. I can gut it, and I can skin it.
Dude, okay.
I'm not good in terms of the butcher
part. I'm
part.
coming to find you, and we're setting up our little compound, okay?
Okay, we're good. And then what we'll do is we'll look at the government and we'll give them the old double barrel. Oops, wrong finger. This is a family-friendly show. Anyway.
No, wait.
All right. Yeah, no, actually, I don't have a problem with that. I've gone hunting in the past. I've been.
And in that end of the world scenario, the hunter and the cook are king.
This is that and the ammo maker.
Okay.
The one that can reload the ammo, that they're going to be up there. Because sooner or later, you're going to run out of ammo. You're going to have to, I mean, you can't go to the store to buy it. So, but anyway.
You got to make your own bow and arrow, dude. Sorry.
Actually, believe it or not, I've been considering taking up archery just to be able to have that skill as one of the checks in my box.
Nice.
I have been considering it. I've been looking at it, and I've been trying to determine whether or not I want to do the traditional way of the longbow first, and then move into the compound bow, because apparently the longbow allows you to actually learn the proper positioning and everything in terms of how to hold the bow that the compound bow will actually cover up. So I've been considering that. Believe it or not, my kids are both on board with it. They're like, yeah, we need to learn that. So yeah, I'm definitely considering it and throwing it out there. But otherwise, don't come to my place, okay? If the shit hits the fan, don't come here.
I was wearing chainmail.
Hand-to-hand combat, I think I'm good at. I'm okay with that. I may not survive every scenario, but I'm there. I'm close enough. Anyway, all right. Totally off the subject. Completely off the subject. All right. You know what? I just realized I'm looking at my background. I'm looking at my background on my computer, and it's a winter scene. I need to change that now that we're moving into spring.
I see whiskey.
No. I'm not talking about this background. I'm talking about the background on the computers.
Oh.
Talking the background on the computers. I'm a very,
that's not what I see.
yeah, I'm a very big winter kind of person. So for 9 months out of the year, my computer background will be winter. I'll be talking about winter. I'll be waiting for the cold. I'll be waiting for snow. If I could get buried like 6 feet in deep in snow, I'd be happy. But anyway,
okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer winter over summer.
Yeah. Summer, I mean, and seriously, this is the one thing. My mother lives in Scottsdale. She is constantly trying to get me to go to Scottsdale. I keep telling her there is only one problem with Scottsdale, and that is you can only take off so many clothes. Okay, there does come a point where you cannot remove.
Oh, sorry.
Dude, I gotta. Hey, next time tell me that, and I'll kick up the what do you call it,
no, you don't,
porn things anyway.
That's why we have sex in the dark.
But okay, that was too much information. Sorry, Eddie. Moving on. So. But I mean, seriously, you can only take off so much. So that's, I mean, at least in the wintertime, you can add or turn on a heat source or do something. I mean, in the summertime, you cannot escape the heat. I'm sorry, you just can't. It's not happening. My daughter, on the other hand, could survive at like 120 degrees, and she'd be like, "Oh, this is nice. This is sauna temperature. I'm good."
I've been in 115. That is not pleasant.
Yeah, no. And there is a certain point where that's going to get out of hand, but holy crap. I either need a bus horn or I need a train horn, something to show derailment. Because this just doesn't work for it. I mean, that doesn't work. That's time warp. So I need a train horn. I need something. Anyway, I'll find it maybe for next show.
I have to get one of those train whistles. Those wooden ones.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll just pick one of those up and do it every time.
There we go. Yeah, there you go. I've seen those. I've actually seen those. They've got them up in God dang it. I keep thinking Wenatchee, but that's not Wenatchee. It's the other place, the Bavarian place. Come on.
Oh, Leavenworth.
Leavenworth. Thank you. I was about ready to call out your wife's name to say, hey. Anyway. All right.
A little far to go for a train whistle.
Train whistle, yeah. That's
Amazon right here.
Yeah, Amazon. Holy crap! There's another one. Here we go. There's another one. We're gonna shoot from the hip. What about Amazon?
In the past year, I've used Amazon a lot more.
Okay.
We have actually 2 Echo devices.
Okay.
One downstairs and one upstairs. So it's convenient because we use it as an intercom.
Okay.
And it's actually a little more convenient to use that when I'm out. I don't necessarily want to call her on her phone because she's sitting right next to the device downstairs.
Right.
And so she doesn't have to find her phone because sometimes she'll leave it in another room.
So you use the drop-in feature is what you're telling
Yeah.
me. Okay. Now, do you have the app on your phone to be able to do that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I as funny as it is, I am being a tech person. I did resist the whole Amazon Alexa kind of thing. I can't say the other word because if I do, she'll light off. But
hey Siri.
Yeah. That being said, that particular technology I think is kind of interesting. And if you ever
Wait, I want to try something because I can hear my wife in the next room. Alexa, drop a beat. Did it work? Damn it.
Okay, that was a whole 30 seconds to a minute that we wasted for that to happen.
She'll do it. She'll go. It's funny.
Anyway, but I mean, I was a little hesitant at first, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, my security side, my security hackles started coming up with the whole idea. But if you keep asking her, I'm totally assured that she is not in any way any kind of special agent for the CIA, the NSA, or Amazon isn't like recording my calls or any of that stuff. If you believe her.
Yeah, if you believe her. Because if we were resistant at first too, I had, what the hell am I going to use this thing for? Right? But then one fateful birthday, or actually not even a birthday, went over to a friend's house, and it just passed Ashton's birthday.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, well, let me get something." He gave her an Echo Dot for her birthday.
Right.
So that was our introduction to it. And then we said, okay, this is kind of nice. Let's get another one because I got the big one on actually Amazon Day.
Right.
So it was less. So it's the big one with the subwoofer in it. It's really nice. It sounds really great for music.
And I'll be honest with you, that's the only thing that I use it for is the music. I mean, other than that, it was kind of fun. I dropped in on my wife while I was out of town a few times, and drove the dog crazy because he couldn't figure out where my voice was coming from. But other than that, in fact,
I've done similar things. I've, played this music on this device when I'm not even home.
Yeah, I've done that too. Or I've seen that they're playing music, and so I'll swap it out for something else. Have you ever done that before? Yeah, no. I've done that too. Well, the funny thing is my kids have actually got access for the music, and they'll go and they will listen to it in their car. So at times on their phone. And so at times I'll go and I'll say, say the magic word and get her to pop up, and I'll say, hey, I want you to play this. And she'll be like, okay, but we're playing on another device. Do you want to switch over to this one? And I'm like, heck yeah. I mean, this is my account. I'm paying for it. Of course I do. And so I shut them off, and we'll get into battles occasionally. It's only happened like once or twice, but we'll get into battles to figure out, who's going to control this bitch. That kind of thing. But anyway, I mean, that's a lot of fun. It is fun to do sometimes with it.
But there is a concern with privacy.
Yes.
Because we have talked about something, then all of a sudden, Ashton will get an ad for that something on her computer.
Oh, dude.
We never looked it up. We just talked about it.
Facebook does the exact same thing. And I'm telling you, I mean, like for an example, the other night, 2 episodes ago, okay, so episode 42, we talked about whiskey, and I was talking about Irish whiskey. Now I have freaking ads that pop up for Macallan 12. In my Facebook feed. Okay. And I don't stream to Facebook anymore, but obviously I either search it or something, and it's grabbed it, and it's locked onto it. So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going on.
I'll do a search on my phone for work about lamps or whatever.
Right.
And then all the ads in my, I use Yahoo Mail, and there's ads on the side.
Right.
Every ad is for whatever I just looked up on my phone. So the ads are on my home computer.
Yeah.
That's so annoying. I don't want to think about work when I'm at home.
Well, I don't want to think about work when I'm at home either, but it happens. It happens, unfortunately. But I actually think and this is totally completely off topic. I mean, it is part of the technology idea, but totally completely off topic. I do actually think that Google, Facebook, and Twitter are all like together, and they get together and they talk about how they can share information and that kind of stuff. Okay. Conspiracy theorist, not quite extraordinary yet, but pretty damn close. Okay. There you go.
That's a show topic. Conspiracy theories.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that another time.
That's a good one.
Ah, we'll have to schedule that one.
Moon landing was real, people.
I don't understand how anybody could think that it was anything but real. But
the Earth is a sphere.
And 9/11 actually had planes that ran into the building. Okay, it wasn't freaking.
Sorry, I'm just seeing my face on the screen from last shot. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's cool. I mean, hey, at least you can get that close. I don't think I can. I have to reach to get to reach. Anyway, all right. Enough said. Okay, I think we've pretty much given everybody a show tonight. Thank you very much for joining. I do appreciate it. Again, hey, actually, I have a call. I have an action item for all of my listeners. Please do me a favor. Not only hit the subscribe and the like button, but find at least one person who you can bring to maybe see some of the zaniness that we've got going on here and have them take a look at the channel. Because you know what? I don't advertise. You are my best advertisers right here. You people, my devoted listeners. So do me a favor. Yes, I know. I do that often, don't I? Okay. But anyway, so yes, you people are my eyes and ears into the world and everything else. So if you like the program, please do me a favor. Go out, not only subscribe and not only hit the button, hit the bell on the subscription so that you get notified when we have a new channel or a new video, but also do me a favor, try to get somebody else to jump in here. I'd like to see my subscription rate climb, and I can only ask that of you people.
You tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
That was perfect. Can you do that again?
No.
Oh, all right. But anyway, so that being said, I do appreciate it. I appreciate everything. And as he finishes his drink, you can say, good night to the man, yeah, the man. All right. So like I said, do me a favor. Let's go out and reach out to some people, try and get some people to at least take a look at the show. Take a look at my past episodes. They're all on YouTube. They are on Rumble. Actually, I got to pop this up so you can see. The Whiskey Musings channel is on Facebook, is on Twitter. We are on Gab. We are on all kinds of different places. Please do me a favor. Spread the word. Let's expand this. I know there's some times that I do some strange topics and stuff, but I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everybody joining in, and I thank you very much for listening. This is the Whiskey Musings broadcast. We will catch you next week with another entertaining episode. May or may not include Kirk. I don't know yet. But do me a favor and check back in with us next week. And also, hey, don't forget to check out the store to get wonderful Whiskey Musings gear. Okay. I've got a whole bunch of stuff for the ladies, for the guys, for just about anything. I mean, shoot, even just a coffee mug. I mean, to pour a little something, coffee, milk, tea, water, whiskey, whatever. Anyway, we will talk to you next week. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. I appreciate all my subscribers. Have a good night and a good weekend. We'll see y'all next week on the Whiskey Musings broadcast. Good night.